try and catch you while you were laying mines, but you weren't laying mines, which was kind of unsportsmanlike, I thought.
You sure I wasn't laying mines?
How did you do that?
I have an idea. You guys want my battery? Oh. Stop. So you took my AOL demo disc. In taking it offline, I recommend games based on whether or not they're a good fit for busy parents, students, and professionals who still like to game. And today, I'm recommending Deathloop. And today, I'm recommending Deathloop. And today, I'm recommending Deathloop. Enter Black Reef Island, where time is just a suggestion. Like a dusty needle on an old record, the entire island is stuck repeating the same day a la Bill Murray's hardly known 1993 film, Groundhog Day. The mask-wearing, gun-toting denizens of Black Reef are voluntarily trapped in never-ending debauchery by the designs of the loop's 7 visionary creators. Now there's one man who's not satisfied with being trapped in a loop, and he just so happens to be the star of our show. Colt, a wisecracking, gun-toting steamboat of a man who doesn't know much except that he needs to end the endless cycle of Black Reef Island's Groundhog Day. Get it? Like the Bill Murray movie I referenced earlier? Anyway, Colt wants to stop the loop, to make the loop dead, if you will. He needs to bring about the death of the loop. But turns out it's easier said than done. There's a lot to do in a single day, and Colt has no memory of the island around him. But the one thing Colt has is time and good looks. Okay, the 2 things Colt has is time, good looks, and darn good aim. All he needs is an arsenal of guns, a selection of magical tools called slabs, and he can turn the odds back in his favor. Ultimately, Deathloop is a game of gathering intel, plotting assassinations, orchestrating coordinated deaths, running out of time, accumulating weaponry, and then doing it all again. And I'll be darned if it isn't great for a busy person. It isn't easy to strike a balance between a linear, focused narrative and expansive open-world environments, but Deathloop pulls it off with a flourish. Essential to the game's concept and atmosphere are 4 intricately designed levels, each of which can be played at 4 different times of day. Now, if I've done my math right, that means that there are 16 different environments to explore. It's a great amount of space to give a busy person to run around in, as there's enough variety in each of the uniquely characterized districts that they feel deep and distinct, but not so different that they blur and run together. Then once you have a handle on each area, you can experience them anew at different times of day. For example, in the morning in Updam, which is the downtown district, the streets are relatively quiet. But at night, a massive party is underway, bringing more guns to one area than an NRA convention. As a busy person, you'll appreciate that the level designers left just enough complexity to keep you exploring while not filling the game with fluff that just takes up brain space. Learning the ins and outs of each area becomes a part of the game, as opposed to a chore that needs to be completed before moving on with the game. Deathloop is structured so that you can play short sessions, long sessions, or anywhere in between. If you hop on for a single time of day, you can easily get through an objective in 20 minutes, feel accomplished, and sign off. If you have a medium amount of time, say you're watching a slow cooker for example, you can stay in your selected district for longer than 20 minutes, picking up loot, searching for clues or secondary objectives, and picking off enemies at your own pace. Of course, if you've got time to spare, you can do all 4 times of the day in an hour or so, completing an entire loop. But the game doesn't force you to adhere to a certain pattern. No, if you're stuck on a particular event in the afternoon, you don't have to play morning and noon. You can advance the game to that time and play that event, no harm, no foul. And that's a key reason why I'm recommending it for busy people. There are absolutely no consequences for not completing any objectives in a loop. The residents of Black Reef have been cycling the same day for possibly thousands of years, and they can certainly wait to get shot again while you go walk the dog. Now, this might not be a ubiquitous viewpoint, but as I've gotten busier in my life, I've gotten less and less interested in high-octane competitive sweatfests. I'll log on to Warzone with friends now and then, but most of the time I find myself drawn to games that whisk me off to a new, creative world. Deathloop provides this transportation. Black Reef Island is set in a nostalgic, over-the-top, stylized 1960s with all of its fashion, architecture, and questionable interior design choices. The music blasting over the intercoms harkens back to the days of shuffles and jukeboxes and greasy spoon diners, and our amnesiac protagonist Colt is just as lost in that setting as we are. He's confused like us. He's angry about being confused, and he is hilarious. The game doesn't try to paint him as this gruff and tough, hard-boiled protagonist that we've become accustomed to. Instead, Colt cracks jokes, he makes silly comments to himself, and most importantly, he has actual vocal inflection. Throughout the game, he's taunted by his mysterious acquaintance Juliana, who is violently opposed to Colt's attempts to break the loop for some reason, but her relationship with Colt can only be described as complicated. She spends most of her time taunting him, but then turns around and provides much-needed information. She seems to have a grasp on the entire Black Reef Island anomaly and loop, but she's strangely aloof and disconnected about it. She dangles information just to make Colt angry, and then tells him if he guesses it correctly. And throughout your loops, Juliana will show up to prevent Colt from killing off the loop's essential personnel, which is a fun little mechanic because it can actually be another human player logging in to 1v1 you. This also means that you can play as Juliana and try to stop another human Colt from finishing their loop. This game mode is another opportunity for a quick session, as all in all it only takes about 10 minutes to win or lose as Juliana. Whoever wins will start the next loop taunting each other. It's just a delight. I've enjoyed my time in Deathloop listening to Colt's dialogue, exploring the various buildings found across the map, and I'm not even kidding, I've actually stopped and listened to music coming out of loudspeakers. If that doesn't tell you how much I've enjoyed the world of Deathloop, then you may as well leave this video. So, all you lovely busy people, let's wrap this up. Deathloop plays in short sessions, which means you can get in and get out without a substantial time commitment. The game also was built such that exploring and learning is rewarding and enjoyable, not monotonous. It's also an immersive delight, which will have you wondering, laughing, and hanging on every bit of dialogue and every bit of lore. If you've made it this far, I'd like to thank you for watching the entire video. And if this is the kind of content you enjoy, please like the video, leave a comment, and if you're really feeling generous, subscribe to me. All in all, I give Deathloop 5 fizz pops out of 5 fizz pops out of 5 fizz pops out of 5 fizz pops. Highly recommended.